Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is your podcast for all things hockey. On this podcast, we talk about past history to the modern day and what you can do to grow the sport. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. Welcome into the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. These episodes go up every Monday and Thursday. So this is going to be episode 23, and today I do want to talk about some milestones that were reached over the weekend. Alex Ovechkin not only tied Gordie Howe's all-time franchise goals record, but we had Claude Giroux get his 300th goal and Sidney Crosby get his 900th assist. To climb the mountain the way these players have, I mean, it's astounding. I mean, most players don't reach these stats. I mean, Claude Giroux's stats are of 300 goals. That's not necessarily Hall of Fame worthy. I do think if he really pushes it, he can get to 500 goals, but he's going to really have to bear down and do whatever it takes to get there. I think he will actually get to 500 goals because think about it. You score 50 goals a season and you multiply that by 4 seasons and he would have another 200. And he started in about 2010, I want to say. I do not have that up right now, but I mean, he's going to be playing more than 4 seasons, and I think he's got to really just bear down and actually just get a little more focused, and I think he's going to have it over some time. If he plays past his age 40 season, I think he certainly will, but yeah, I do think he'll get to 500. Speaking of 500, I almost forgot to mention Steven Stamkos is approaching that. So I will have a special episode on him, or maybe I'll just make a written piece. Alex Ovechkin, I guess I'll save him. Okay, I'll talk about him now, and then I'll go into Sidney Crosby. Alex Ovechkin, 787 goals. He is the third all-time goal scorer, and he is 13 away from 800, and I think he is about 17 from breaking it. Let me look. Actually, you know what? Let me look that up. I should have these up. Hockey reference. I mean, he is the all-time franchise leader in goals, and that was not easily done. What makes it so significant is that he tied it in Detroit, and even though the Capitals lost both those games, you got to give him props for doing that. And it would not be possible without his teammates. So, thank you, Nicholas Backstrom and everyone else. All right, Gordie Howe. Yeah, so all-time goals, 786. In total, he has 801, so Ovechkin just needs 14 more this season. So we're going to see that, too. We're probably going to see that break, and I think it would be very appropriate if Wayne Gretzky shakes his hand at whatever end of the game over the next 14 games. I think he should start you should start doing something and start getting tickets to the next Capitals game, whether they're home or away, and whoever they're facing. I think it would be very appropriate if he does it at home, wherever he is, because, he could still go through a dry spell of not scoring and just pick up some assists or something. But I think that would be the most appropriate thing. Sidney Crosby, 900 assists. I think he's going to get 1,000 assists next year, and there's only less than 24 that have ever done that in the NHL. So very good props on him doing that. He's got about 1,500 points. I'm still here on Hockey Reference now, Crosby. And okay, let's take a look at the total amount of points. Wait a minute. Okay, he does not have 1,500 points yet, but I think, but he's still having an outstanding season, though. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, I think, so he's got 6 goals in about less than 10 games. That's still really good for even his age 35 season. So let's do a little math here. 6 times 8, 48. Yeah. He will get to, I think he's got a chance to get to 50 goals thereabout. Maybe he doesn't quite get it. Maybe he gets 46, 47 or something like that. 900. I think he's going to have at least 950, at least in terms of that. He's going to get 950. Excuse me. I think he's going to get about. He's going to get about 80 points this season, but I think he's going to get like 940 or 950. He'll have like about 950 assists at the end of the season. So I do think he's not. If he doesn't get to 1,500 points this season, then he'll certainly have it next season. But I think if he really pushes it, he's going to have 1,500 points. Now, Mario Lemieux is still the all-time Pittsburgh Penguins goal franchise leader. Sidney Crosby could be playing for another 5 years. Easily, he could do that. And he started in the league at 18. So let's do the math. I mean, and none of this really adds up the way it, for most players. But I'm going to look at Mario Lemieux and look at his franchise. And he's got 690 goals. I think Sidney Crosby is going to break his record at some point. He's going to break his goals record. So he's already, so Sidney Crosby has over 500 goals. He's got 523. He's got to get to 167 more goals. Yes, 167 more goals over the course of 5 years. Let's do the math here. All right, and I get my phone out here. And yeah, all right, to my calculator, 167 divided by 5 equals 33.4 goals, which is not unattainable for him. I think if we didn't have that shortened season or that weird season, I think he would have done it already. He certainly could have had it had he not been injured too. That certainly did not help him. And I do think that with everything else, with just everything, he's certainly done more, even though he was injured. He doesn't really take penalties much, and he is a very special individual. It is fun watching him play as well. Chris Letang. Now, I mean, most players, if they're lucky, they'll be like Chris Letang. They'll be, and I don't think he's going to get past 300 goals. Maybe he will. He's been Sidney Crosby's teammate ever since the 06-07 season. and he's got 3 Stanley Cups under his belt, but he is not. But people forget how much of a significant role some people can play. And I think Chris Letang is not necessarily going to go to the Hall of Fame. Oh, he's only a 2-time Stanley Cup winner, which, okay, two-time, which begs that. Wait a minute. I don't understand why. Okay, all right. I'm here on HockeyReference.com, and it says he's a 2-time Stanley Cup winner, which doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, a little bit of a side note here. Hockey Reference, update this. I need some clarification on this. He's played with Pittsburgh his entire time. There was no discrepancy here. I don't understand. He won the Stanley Cup in 2009, the 08-09 season. When he was 21 years old, he should have, at least he should have been a part of the roster. I don't necessarily know if he was on the roster. So I think you just need to put a little note here of what happened, because I think it's just not clear there. Okay. For his age 21 season. In 2000, 2009. And then you have 2016 and 2017 too, which that should be 3. So, yeah, so there's that. But anyway, he's won 2 Stanley Cups, and that's 2 more than most people, at least. So, Stanley Cup. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Cups. Cup. Okay. Yeah. So I still don't understand that. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. So apologies with that. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about where I see the Isles going. So a little more on that. So with all these record breaking and these records either being shattered or people just getting to milestones, I don't think that's necessary. That doesn't necessarily translate to a Stanley Cup victory team. I think the New York Islanders are going to be a dark horse in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to get past the first round. Maybe they do. I'd say they're a dark horse to get past the first round. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to necessarily put too much pressure on them, but I think, if anything, they could certainly do it with Nelson, Varlamov, and even Barzal, if he just picks up the pace a bit more. I think he'll find a way to do it. With that being said, we've got, we got other players who have had, good seasons, and then they just couldn't quite make it. The Rangers, gave the Lightning, a run for their money with Kreider and Zibanejad, and even Igor Shesterkin, try saying that name 3 times, they still couldn't make it too. So, you could still have breakout seasons, but that's not an indication of who's going to win the cup. I'm still going to hold to my earlier prediction I made back in one of my earlier episodes, and that was Colorado winning it again for the second time. Connor McDavid, since we are on the topic of milestones and everything, supposedly he's going to have, I think he's on pace to have like a 65-goal season, and I am not underestimating this at all, because we're going to be pulling up, because we are about 10 games in, and let me just see here, McDavid, NHL site, we're going to go to the standings on NHL.com. Yeah, and this computer can be a bit slow, but But, I mean, when he scored 4 goals in his first game in this season, it was incredible. He's got 12 goals already. He's got 13 assists. He's got 25 points. We haven't even played 12 games. But let's see. Oilers. Now, the Oilers are in third place, and they've actually played 12 games. My bad. At the time of this recording, they have. So he's got a goal every game. He has averaged that out. He could get to 82 if he kept it up, if he kept that average. But I think he's going to get over 60. No problem. He's going to be having real good numbers. And so he can easily have over 100 points too, as well. So even if he misses a game or two and he gets 60 goals and 60 assists, that's 120 points. We don't see that much anymore. We don't see that much anymore. And I don't think we're going to see a 200-point player, at least in this age, in the butterfly age. I think those days are done. I think those days of Gretzky getting 200 points a season, or anyone like him, or Marcel Dion getting 200 points, those days are over. Those days are over. I don't think we're going to see it. If McDavid pushes this, I think he could get to 150, but he really would have to be in there every single day. So he's averaging over an assist, like about 1.1 assists per game, and he's averaging a goal a game. You would have him at about 82 assists and 82 goals. Let's just use round numbers. And if he were to do that, that would be over 160 points. And give or take that he misses a game or two. I think we need to see that for the good of hockey. He is probably the best player right now in the NHL, and it's not even close. Matthews, I'm sorry, no. It's McDavid. He knows how to be consistent, and I think he could potentially get the Oilers to a Stanley Cup, just not this season. Just not this season. The Oilers will go to the playoffs, but it's just not going to happen this year. I think you've got too much competition. New Jersey's coming out of nowhere. Carolina is doing well enough, and there were some teams that fell off too. Boston is actually looking much better than I could have ever seen them as. Even with Chara gone, I did not expect this at all from them, but they certainly are good. Dallas could certainly be a dark horse as well. Colorado may actually just fall off because they're only in third right now, but that's just very interesting as well. All right, I do want to end this on a high note. I will have an article out later in the week of also. I will have an article out later in the week of Alex Ovechkin and that significance. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast as well. I'll leave a link in the show notes for that as well. Excuse me. And maybe I'll post a video out there. So if you do like video, head over there. I'll post another reel. And yeah. All right, with that being said, stay safe, stay great. I'll talk to you all in the next episode.